And today I will be giving you a rundown onto the fascinating world of AI use cases and blueprints, how you can start your journey in the deployment in the telecoms and the networking space. I want to really start this discussion in terms of the use cases and then how you should approach to get the best outcomes from the AI investment in your networks. So, as we all know, right, there has been a lot of use cases being talked about, and it all normally comes to the definition of the problems and then applying a systematic approach to solve that. But then naturally, we are looking always for use cases which gives the best results, and then those which are perhaps easy to get the access and advantage of the low hanging fruit, as we call it, right? And that's why I try to plot it into the two-dimensional space with x-axis depicting by the difficulty of the use cases, and by difficulty I means in terms of availability of the solutions, and then how like the operational guides and the ecosystem, all of those things, right? Like if you want to start today, things are ready or not. And then in terms of maturity, again, if you have a sample and some other customers already deployed a use case, you have the golden standard, then perhaps it is more easy to apply. And as you can clearly see, right, like in terms of low difficulty and more maturity, the customer experience or the BSS use cases are definitely a good starting point. And one of the main reason is there had been a lot of data available in the BSS, whether it is a customer data, their packages, how they consume services, their complaints, and pretty much a lot of things, right? What perhaps is not available today there is the network and the network specific data for those customers. But uh, again, having said, right, this is really a good starting point, and that's why we have seen in initiatives like Telco AI Alliance, where a number of customers have not only built but actually rolled out something like the telco LLMs or digital BSS with AI. We have seen partnered like Amdocs, Microsoft, and others who are building and actually launched a very good and pervasive solutions in this space. Going to the bottom side again, it is more about less difficulty but still more like the POC phase in the industry is the operational and business efficiency use cases. And again, I want to call here more typically the OSS use cases. As an example, if you are an operational team and you are looking for the AI use cases that helps to do the root cause analysis, the predictive maintenance of your network. For example, even before the issue arises, the network model gives you an insights of when something is gonna go wrong. Again, a lot of RAG and sort of document ingestion. We all know, right? In the operation space, there had been a lot of processes and documents, and the idea is build a chat and conversational interface helps you get all of those documents easily accessible, answering your questions, and most important, comply to your policy and governance framework. So that's definitely in terms of low difficulty, and we should start trying. They are actually quite mature, but since they are still in the POC phase and we don't have a very large scale of deployments, maybe small one, and I think especially in the telcos in the US and EMEA are definitely going ahead, but that's really is the right starting point today. with a sort of POC and some basic use cases and extending onwards and upwards. On the right side, if you can see, again, I will start from the more mature ones, and these are really where the customers are trying to build a new business models with AI, right? Like how to sell, like build an AI infrastructure and then sell it at the right model and the right business model, I mean here, and the right ecosystem enablement. And we all know a lot of countries have been the investing heavily into building their AI infrastructure that ensures their data security and leadership in this space. And one trend definitely gaining attention is how they can sell the GPU as a service to all of the customers, both internal, if there's a big company and they want to sell it to their businesses, but also to the external tenants. And apart from this, there had been definitely a working on how you can build the AI as a service, something like Kamara, right? So what Kamara is doing, exposing your network as an API. And now with the AI as a service, the concept is all of the AI, not just the platform or the infra, but also the models, right? In the 3GPP world, we can call it model as a service or mass, something we have been working heavily in the release 20. And so that's really is the direction, right? Where just like you build your network or a typical AI application, so the AI APIs are available and you should query and talk. And we all know there have been a rich availability of capability in the Chat GPT APIs or Gemini APIs by which you can actually send your query via an APIs and check it. Then the bottom right is again something which we find is gaining most attraction, which is how really you can truly automate your network. And the thing from where we really start, right, like when we build this end-to-end menu or end-to-end automation or a ZSM framework, then naturally we find there are a lot of boxes, right? So first of all, there are many domains with many orchestrator and you need to connect. And historically, the way to connect is by some sort of blueprints or API level integration. But what about if you build a AI application who stitch all of the layers together? And traditionally we call it agentic AI. But again, the concept is quite simple, how you can truly automate a multi domain network, and then each of those domain obviously their behavior and semantics, and the idea is there is an AI governance thing sitting on the top to make it simple. There had been an increasing debate why AI for this and why not, but again, it looks clear that AI it will make it more simple and easy to achieve this architecture. So that's really an important piece, like from where you start, why you start, and how you start. And if I go to the next, again, it is more like a pyramid strategy. And as we all know, right, like AI is not a one stop shop. Ultimately, you need to enable into different layers, different domains, and then try to stitch it, right, so that one actually complements the other. And that is pretty much the journey of the AI native telco, AI transformation, AI anywhere, all of those, right? And the foundation of this, right? So everything sits on the foundation, which in AI case is naturally how you can bring AI into your products, starting from the data platforms, again, the solutions of the data fabrics, which really helps you build that foundation layer, right? Again, that is AI in, because then these data and data platforms need to provide some enhanced capabilities like vector databases and others. But The notion is very simple, right? AI in every device, whether you are taking a physical infrastructure, whether you are perhaps building an applications, 3GPP applications, a typical AI applications, UE itself, right? Because if you see the latest approach with Apple, with some of their mini models, and you can clearly see that the model processing is being shifted towards the device, which we call the diffusion AI. But the concept, I hope you are getting that in each of your product, right, there is some sort of native AI capability, whether it is a GPU in a hardware, AI app has a sort of small model and the API layer to talk, and all of those needs to come from your vendor and ecosystem. But then ultimately the question comes like how you will run those capabilities, right? So again, this comes to the like telco cloud or network cloud, you need an AI on the cloud, right? Again, the GPU as a service and the way to AI RAN or AI core, the notion is simple, right? You have a telco application and an AI applications both on the same cloud, sharing resources and complementing each other. So that is definitely an important piece again, which is much related to the cloud native AI, which I will be speaking in the next slide. Then coming to the distributed side, right? Like because you will run an AI on your UE, on edge devices, and lot of small exchanges, and you really need to see like the use cases like the AI RAN or the remote site management using AI, right? We all know typically it needs a heavy truck rolls, but then you can actually try to see how you can manage the sites remotely based on the sensing data, build some sort of AI governance around it. One such example is when your technicians go on site, and if there is an AI app, they take pictures and the it goes to the model, and then the model guides them how to do the site maintenance, site operations, site expansion. So that's definitely, like the area where what I mean AI on the edge. And AI Ryan, I briefly talk about the coexistence between the AI and the RAN domains, and then you can see the self-optimized CPs, again something we have seen largely gaining traction. The whole idea is, you have a home, and home itself is a big network, right? Like in a typical home, 10, 20 gadgets, the TVs, the laptops, the mobiles, all of those devices connected with some CPEs taking you to the internet service. And imagine when you are facing some sort of degradation into your service or customer experience, what typically you do, it's not easy to troubleshoot. If based on your data, it gets populated in your home CPEs, and CPE are intelligent enough, obviously with the support of the network, and guide you how you should optimize it, right? Without some sort of manual test, or you raise tickets and perhaps do some predictive things as well, right? Instead of waiting for things to go back. So that's definitely a hot thing. And then we all know, right, smart cars and how the even the we are enabling networking and connectivity like the 4G 5G sim cards into the your autonomous vehicles. And the whole notion is this, how you can combine the both worlds, right? So there is a lot of processing happening in the cars, especially in the EVs from the environment. But then if you link it with your network, right, perhaps you can do a lot of more thing, right? Like about the congestion, about the maps optimization, the route optimization. So these all are a bit very exciting use cases, a lot of value use cases. So when you talk about edge, actually it's all about checking about the business and use case of the edge, where AI is seems gaining lot of attention. And going to above again, AI as a service, I already spoken that how you should expose and use AI using the APIs, and how you can integrate it into the wider ecosystem. The notion is simple, right? You should abstract everything about the AI or the infra, and everything is available. Perhaps an API, for example, a PyTorch query or a PyTorch token based through an APIs, and how you can abstract and make it more attractive to your customers. Going above again, something very important, AI on, which is I already talked briefly. Like AI on is more about the capability onto your products. Like by on, I mean the workload on. So if you have a AI infrastructure, ultimately you have OSS applications on, a BSS applications on who are trying to do some AI stuff like the root cause analysis, the telco LLMs, and revolutionize the customer experience, right? Performance, reliability of the network. And then the last is more about the AI buy. And again, by AI buy, I mainly talk about the new AI architectures like the RAG, the AI NDAF. By the way, NDAF is the data analytics function, and net N is obviously the network. The whole idea is it gives you, like RIC based. So RIC, perhaps if you are not doing VRAN or ORAN, maybe you don't have RIC, and that's why, right, you should target green opportunities, right? With RIC or RAN, you can really do lot of stuff with AI, right? So RIC based optimization, your radio spectrum optimization, again the energy optimization of your whole network, and last but not least, all of your radio, RAN, and RF optimization. That's pretty much about the AI enablement. I hope I spend a good time to let you guide how you can start the journey and how you can build this pyramid from the foundation all the way up, right? But again, it is not really about the sequence, it's more about which what gives you max value. Why foundation is green? Because foundation anyways you need. Without the right infra, right data platform, you pretty much cannot do much. But again, the right AI applications who are architected in the right way is also important. And but for the others, you can actually pick and choose, and in most cases we have seen all of them are actually coexisting and complementing each other, right? Like starting from the AI RAN to the edge to the core to the OSS BSS. But then you can also pick one and leave others for a later date. The last piece which I really wanted to touch is on the architecture side and how you can really take it. But I believe that yeah, I should leave it for a later date. But thank you very much for watching yet another episode of AI Climbing with Shape. I hope you make some good sense of it. And in the coming videos, we will be talking more about how you can apply it, map it to your network, and get maximum value. Thank you very much. If you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye.